All right, guys, I wanted to make a video today to summarize some of the things that I've been going through, thinking about, and it's going to be pretty much in an overview of what I believe the core principles, the person you have to be, the skill sets you need to have overall to really kill it in this industry. So let's get right into it. I just want to summarize the stuff that I've been thinking about over the last few days, a week or so, and see if I can put it on video. And I'm going to reference from one of my favorite books. If you've been watching my videos for a long time, I mean a long time, over a year ago, I used to have an intro where it said plur, and then it would have 4 words in the bottom. It went like king, warrior, magician, lover. I don't know if that was the exact sequence, but those were the 4 archetypes. So it's from a book called King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, and it's basically talks about the archetypes of a man. Okay, going through the journey, the types of characteristics you have at different stages of your life. And basically, let's start here. Okay, so it's February right now, and if you took a long break this winter or whatever you did, this is around the time when you are going to start getting into the season, right? This is, even if you're going for home services, it's only about a month or 2 left before their main season comes. So this is definitely the preparation time to get ready for the main damage you're going to do with your agency, the main growth you're going to have with your agency for this coming year. Whether you are a beginner or not, you're going to, first comes the offer, right? This is how everybody starts. Okay, so let's begin there. If you're selling Facebook ads, SEO, whatever it is, you're providing a digital marketing service. Okay, the archetype of a digital marketer is a magician. It's going to be references that's not going to make complete sense until, if you read the book. But in short, a magician is anybody to do with like high attention to detail. Scientists, mechanics, engineers, anything that you're tweaking and you're like behind the scenes. That's the archetype of a magician, and SEO is directly that. And which is great. Most of the people in our industry are magicians. They're good at being magicians. Meaning, not saying that everybody's good at performing SEO or doing the fulfillment, but I'm saying that, if you look at the forums and everything, most people spend most of the days studying or being better and going about it, in that way in their journey, better at doing the fulfillment. It's great. And, most people on average don't get much results, right? Because the other side of this is the sales. As we know, our industry is known for it to not be good at sales. So the people who are even decent at sales, you can see that they start to get some traction. For me, for example, there's a lot more people, and there's a lot more people coming out now. They are having these 2 skill sets. They're doing the fulfillment, providing the fulfillment, and they're also decent at sales. Okay, well, whatever method they're using, they're getting clients in through the door. And usually the archetype that best aligns with the salesman is warrior. Warrior, in short, again, basically, it's a lot to do with, it's basically somebody who does what he or she has to do, whether he or she feels like it or not. And sales, by and large, I mentioned about it before, it's a lot to do with the number of actions you're able to take, how many dials you're willing to make, how many emails you're able to send. It's far less to do about the skill, right? Within some decent feedback of yourself and getting things wrong and right and taking some tips from here and there, your skill set will improve to at least being decent. Decent skill set with high action wins. Low action with great skill set doesn't win. But those are the 2 main things, okay? With those 2 together, being able to fulfill and being able to sell will get you you're able to do that two things even decently both, you will get to a point where you're able to do this thing full time. It's just simple as that, right? It can be 30K a month, 10K a month, whatever it is, you'll be fine. But it's at this point, right? Once you have those two things set in place, and let's say you're revolving around a certain monthly gross income, and servicing some clients, etc., you have to build some systems, right? It's common knowledge, everybody knows. And this is where it gets a little twisted, and I'm not sure exactly how to reference moving on from the book. But the reason why it gets hard here is because systems call for you to become another type of person. You see, these two skill sets already require a level of type of person you have to be, right? Like if you look at average people who don't do anything and they're just like not doing shit, for you to become an SEO, you need a certain level of I guess courage, willing to put in the work to learn this skill, test, and be good at it. Okay, and then from there to be a salesman, especially if you're like the type of person who likes to be behind the computers, our industry is kind of guilty of it by nature. But if you are going to get out of your comfort zone and become good at sales and be that type of person, if you're going to be outgoing, whatever it is your method is, but it's going to push you to become another person, right? Like get out of your comfort zone to get results, right? And if you do that, you'll get pretty good results. Systems calls for another type of person. This time it becomes, in my experience, a little bit harder. I mean, I'm not talking about just the basic foundation systems, right? I have the basics down. My team can take 90% of the work down and stuff like that. But to create a service that's really elite and performs very good over and over again with very low risk of or probability of failure, and it adapts as things change in Google. I mean, SEO is not really easy to build systems around, especially over time, right? You have to constantly tweak it, especially with years like 2018, where there was a lot of changes. But anyways, going back to the point, to be that kind of person, it calls for another characteristic, right? And I don't know how to, I don't have like I said, I don't have references from the book, but basically one core thing why it is difficult for systems, for you to make systems, is because in my experience, it doesn't have as much excitement, right? Sales and SEO innately have a level of excitement. I mean, in my opinion, sales is way more exciting than SEO. The act of making a sale, as you get even a little better and being able to be intuitive and guide through certain questions and stuff like that while you're talking to the prospect and selling them, stuff like that, and then you get the sale, it is so much more exciting to me than doing SEO. But that can be argued because SEO itself is also pretty exciting, right? I mean, overall, SEO is kind of like a video game, right? It has a lot of charts and graphs, and you want to, see green arrows and, things going up the ladder. It's a race to the top, who can be at the top positions and stuff like that. So it has a lot of excitement, tweak little things, understand, finally break through a new technique that you found, and now you're going to test it. You're excited to actually, implement it for your clients to see how you can rank for more competitive terms. All this kind of stuff is exciting, right? But systems is not. It's more to do with being patient, taking time, and going through and building processes for a newbie, for somebody who's not in this industry, for somebody for the first time, can follow step by step and do it in a manner where there's very low, lower and lower, as low as it can get. The better the system, the better system you build, the lower probability of a mistake is. So you have to build it with that in mind. And also how easy it is to consume can be so complicated that it's hard, because then your VAs are not gonna be able to follow it. You will have trouble going back and tweaking it. If you have new VAs coming in, you'll have a lag there, right? It has to be very easy to consume and step by step, and ever changing too. So it's a whole thing of itself without much excitement. That's where it gets difficult. This is why it's known that a lot of people, after they reach that kind of mark, 8 to 12 client mark, you kind of get stuck, right? It's kind of like hard to break out of that because you're kind of having your systems. It's usually your first system is going to be half-assed. I don't know, what kind of person you need to be able to nail that shit really well from the beginning. Maybe like some kind of previous job experience, being a manager or something like that. But if you're like pretty much doing this entire thing for the first time, your system in the beginning is gonna be pretty bad, I would assume. And you're gonna have to tweak it, make it better, make sure they understand and stuff like that. And that kind of back and forth while trying to manage your SEO and make sure the clients are good and everything. At the same time, you're learning, so you're on top of your stuff and implementing and testing new things so it can be in queue to get build systems again. At the same time, you're making sure you're trying to also sell a little bit here, maybe get referrals, whatever it is. Maybe if you have a kind of good amount of clients, and you're busy, you might be trying to ask for referrals. If not, you might be actually trying to spend some time to send cold emails, make some calls, whatever it is. That's where it gets kind of convoluted, right? Because there's like literally quite a few factors up in the air for you to be more than enough busy for most of your days, right? And this is where I think a lot of people are going to be at, right? Like this is where I'm experiencing the most difficult, most difficulty right now, is managing all this stuff. Even though the SEO is more or less good with my team, but being able to overlook it all, build better systems for other aspects of like holistic SEO, if you want to, for lack of better terms, like other stuff that they should be brought in down to step-by-step processes, which I currently have to do. So let's say linking for me, for a personal example, I still do the PBN links like that, which is on its way to be completely taught by the VA. But that's just one component, right? As an example, stuff like that, building those systems and making sure they're good and they're run, it's going to require you to be patient and yeah, I mean, this is pretty much, I don't know what else to say about this, to be honest. I just wanted, this is the main point of this video. These are the three most important things. If you get these first two right, this is going to be your third most important thing and the biggest challenge. In my opinion, this is the hardest part. And one tip I can give to be better at this part is, before I just say start early, I don't think that was a really good tip, because in the beginning, you don't even know what works well. You're just trying out things, right? You have to get to a certain point to know what procedures you took for it to actually rank shit and implement and be able to implement it well. And then you have to build systems. So now I would say the number one thing about building systems is taking time off and only doing that thing. Okay. Over the last 2 months, as I took a break, even an hour or two here, while I was just, chill back, relax, I'm not selling, and I would take a look at little processes where the VA is having trouble, and I would clearly be able to, like very easily detect that this is done very poorly, like from my part, in terms of the system. And I could tweak it, make it better, make a new video and fix it, and it'll be much easier for them. This kind of attention on the system side, it's very difficult to do while you're in the main season, right? Because clients waiting for proposals, you're making calls to get sales, following up with people who didn't show up. That in of itself is a full-time thing. And then on top of it, making sure the SEO is going well and everything like that. Like, boy, that is enough. At the same time, the algorithm is changing here and there, and you're gonna make videos again or processes and go back and tweak and talk to VAs, and like it gets a lot, right? By far, one of the most powerful things you can do is build systems in the winter. I said this before, and I kind of like hypothesized it, and I can confirm it now 100%, right? If you're starting now and you're gonna grow your agency, you're looking to kill it in 2019, it would be more leaning towards the side of, have some systems in place just enough to not drop the ball. Fulfillment is going hard and sales is going hard as ever. And then after you get to a certain recurring revenue, whatever, and November, December comes, you can take a step back, relax, and just work on systems and stuff like that. And that's pretty much it, right? These are the three main things. And you have to understand this, because it sounds like common sense when I after you say it, but a lot of people spend time in so much other shit You have to understand that if there's 3 things that's the most important, this is it. Sales, number 1, fulfillment, enough to not drop the ball, especially if you're a beginner. And then starting to put things together in a way and being able to look at it from the eyes of a beginner and really step by step so they can follow it with minimal amount of mistakes and making it as easy as possible for them to consume the information. To be able to do that, you will reach fucking good heights. I don't know exactly what revenue number is, but I think this is what it takes to reach 100K a month. If there's anything else skill set wise and the type of person you need to be that's in the horizon I can see, it could be hiring, because eventually you're gonna need a team of people. Eventually, I mean, most of us, to get to this point, you already kind of have a team, right? My girlfriend, my VAs and stuff like that, but you're gonna need a stronger team to have an agency that's 100K or more, stuff like that. You're gonna need probably people in place who understand the shit, who have a like more key persons in place that is looking over this stuff with you, as opposed to just taking orders and stuff. But that would be like the 4th and last thing. Like definitely, if those 4 together, I can't think of anything else to reach, or not just 100K, even $1 million a month, right? Those are the 4 main stuff, right? If you have a kick-ass offer in place and you have the systems in place to deliver that offer better than most other people, you have a killer sales process in place. You're getting clients in, and let's say as you grow, you get more methods in place for them to attract more clients. Boom, sales is going good. And systems in place to be making sure that fulfillment is on track and being able to keep some kind of order to check that everything is done properly. That trifecta, most powerful. And then 4th one, eye for talent, being able to find people who are, being able to lead people the right way, all that kind of stuff that you need to build a team, right, can come into play as the end. And there is an archetype for that, and that is king. In the book, it's referred to as a person who a lot of times gives up his own well-being for the time to make sure his team is okay. It's the type of person who leads by being actually in the trenches, in the forefront, as opposed to just giving orders from the back. That kind of level is gonna come in play when you want to reach like real high heights. But just wanted to make this video to give you guys a solid overview, understanding of who you kind of need to be to win at this thing. Let's get this shit.